Hello guys! Today I'm gonna answer a question I got a lot. Why did you stop modeling? Okay, so this question, I think anytime I talk with someone new or talk with someone I don't know really well and I tell them that I just stopped modeling a few years ago, they always ask me, why did you stop modeling? So I decided to answer to this question doing this video right now. Storytelling. So in 2019, I was participating to the Paris Fashion Week and I got to one of those castings and I arrived there. I walked, I got watched by girls because there were many girls looking at each other's, plus the casting directors. And after the casting, I called my agent and I told him, I am not doing this fashion week. I need a break. So you know what? I got a break and he said no problem, and actually since today, so yeah, in 2024, I didn't go back modeling. Looking at this from a little further, I realized that there were different reasons why I stopped modeling back in 2019. First thing, I realized that there were no more challenge for me in this industry. Why? Because I already worked all the top shows for fashion weeks in different countries, in different cities, of course the top fashion cities, New York, London, Paris, Milan, Tokyo, and I worked for the top brands, the top photographers, the top stylists, the top designers, makeup artists, the top set designer, all the most talented creative of the industry. And I took already 4 years in the industry, so I started to go a bit in a loop, seeing all the time the same persons. And yeah, starting this Paris Fashion Week, I didn't want to do it again, and I didn't have the willingness to do better than before because, I mean, yeah, there is no more challenge, and I think for me to do something, I really need it to be challenging. To give you some examples, when you have some goals as a model, it can be to do the fashion weeks. So this goal was, okay, to walk and open the top shows. So yeah, I opened and closed some of the top shows like Hermes, Dries Van Noten, Victoria Beckham. I also got exclusive in London Fashion Week, and yeah, I did also some campaigns, for example the Hermes campaign, but also Nail Barrett campaign and other campaigns that I don't even remember. And yeah, I traveled the world for modeling and this was great. But you know, after 4 years, I just couldn't do it again. And on this moment, I didn't know why, but now looking at who I was at this moment, I think that I didn't get the challenges anymore. Second, I arrived at a point in 2019 when I got an image problem, like a self-image problem. I would call that the burnout of the fashion model. Why? Because you got to take so many pictures of you every day. To give you an example, I think in one day, just by doing castings, I don't even count for shootings, I think you need to take at least 50 pictures a day. And for a shoot, I mean, it's very difficult to know, maybe like 5,000 images a day. And you know what? At one point, I got to the point where I couldn't see myself in a picture anymore. Which is a real problem as a model. To give you an example, I remember in 2019 that I did a cover of a magazine, and when I saw the image on the cover, I called my agent and I told him I don't like the picture. And I don't understand why they chose this picture, I'm really ugly on it. He told me that if they chose this picture is that because they love it and that I am really beautiful to them, so I shouldn't have this kind of thoughts. But you know what? I think it was just a problem of self-image at this moment, and you know, after that, after this break, I needed a lot of time to recover, and I think until 2021, so 2 years later, I couldn't take any pictures of me, even myself, to do a selfie. It was very difficult, and yeah, every time I was seeing my face on a picture, I really thought, oh no, I'm so ugly, that I really needed a break on this. Third point, which is not the smallest, I was having some eating disorders, and this is really, really bad, because I couldn't feel an equilibrium of eating. At that time in 2019, I couldn't feel when I was hungry. I couldn't feel when I was full. So I think this was really problematic, and I was having terrible eating disorders at a point that I didn't know if I could go out of the situation. But what I knew is that doing fashion weeks, working with my body didn't help at all to recover the equilibrium of the eating disorders. So I thought that it was starting to really impact my health, and that doing a break from the industry, which actually finally mean that I just stopped, could help me to get out of these eating disorders. And yes, it took a little while. I think it took like 3 years to recover from the eating disorders. It's a lot, yeah. But yeah, afterwards, I managed to get out of the eating disorders, and now I can feel when I'm hungry and when I'm full, which is really great. I also want to mention something. I think when you are a model, and it can also happen probably when you are a sports athlete, when it's your job, you are a pro athlete, there is a point where I could feel some anxiety of stopping modeling. I could feel it for me, but also for other girls. I think this was really a topic, like what do you want to do later? And a lot of girls, they were like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's difficult. It's a difficult question, because a lot of girls in the industry, they didn't study. They don't know anything about doing a job, something else than just modeling. And also when you are working, not in fashion weeks, but in houses, there are some older girls, like 35 to 50, let's say. I know it's not that old, but for a fashion model, it's quite old, who are working in-house. And I mean, when I was looking at them, I feel like, oh my god, I don't want to do this job, because they are kind of employees, but not really. So they are always working at the same brands as cabin models, and yeah, they are every day working on the same brand, but in fact, they are not really employees, but at the same time, they are not really traveling. They are always doing the same job. There is no more fun of the job. It happens. I mean, the girls doing that, usually they are very happy, so it's totally fine. I think they really have a lot of money, because they earn a lot of money by doing this job. But me, I just couldn't fit in this job. You have no more shoots, no more fashion shows. The only work you have to do is to try clothes on. You are really using your body more than your image, if you understand what I mean, because for shoots, for fashion shows, it's your image that is sold, but by working in-house for a brand, it's more like your time that is being sold. And yeah, I didn't want to do that job, and I think it's the kind of job that you can do when you are older as a model, if your body stays the same, which can be also difficult, but yeah, if your body stays the same, you can do that. And personally, I didn't feel like I could do this job, so I really wanted to go out of modeling before it gets too late. But there is this anxiety of stopping the job, because you don't know how you will do to make some money, and also by modeling you can do some good money, so you don't know if you could have the same day rate as you as a model by doing another job. So for me, I have an AI engineer background, so I think the day rate of the engineer is quite good. So the day rate of an engineer is quite good, and I was still anxious. But imagine if you didn't do any studies, your day rate is way lower than doing the modeling job, because for modeling job the day rate is minimum of 1,000 euro, let's say, without even the image rate, and it can go really high up. I think the maximum day rate I got was 20,000 for one day before tax. And so yeah, before tax, of course. But imagine in the normal life, it's just not possible to have this kind of day rates, especially if you didn't do any studies. So yeah. So what helped me to survive to this situation? So this situation where I knew that modeling was bad for me, my health, my mental health, and also my career, my older career, but I was still anxious of going out of this job. I think what helped me is that I was curious. because I started to get some new interests in computer science and AI, and I started to build my own software and to have some clients. And yeah, I think if you are curious on another field than modeling, you can discover something else and start an activity step by step and believe in you and believe that you can get clients and believe that you can actually do something else and earn some money in somewhere else than in modeling. Okay, second, quite obvious, studies can help you. So if you are a model and you didn't do any study, it's very difficult, but you know what? You can still start anytime to do some studies. Maybe you have a lot of money thanks to modeling, so you can invest it in the studies, or maybe you are in a country like France where you can join some university for quite cheap, for very cheap actually, and yeah, you can maybe join directly a university. And also something that helped me is that I was really believing that I could help the fashion industry with other skills, because I still love the fashion industry, but I saw some part of the problem of the modeling industry, and I really wanted to help the industry to change. So having this kind of will of change will help you to get over the situation, and helped me to get over the situation. So in 2019, I just decided to quit modeling, to have a break, and a few months later I managed to create my own company, and yeah, it was not always easy, but I encourage girls who are modeling to don't think that they are just stuck here and they cannot go out. But to be honest, I think that modeling was really a good experience overall, but it was just very difficult to get out of the industry at the end because I felt a bit stuck at one point. But other than that, I really enjoyed many things in modeling, and I would really be happy to share it with you in another video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and see you soon!